So today we're going to talk about challenges. Everything right now, the hottest thing in the marketing world is everybody's doing some type of challenge. 5-day challenge, 30-day challenge, 7-day challenge. And as I go with the times, it's time for me to create my challenge. So I brought on, we got Demetrious Reed here, who is a expert marketer who has just been featured on some website. I don't know what it's called, an interview, and it looks so official. So jealous. I want to be on that website too. Um, but I guess before we get started, Demetrius, tell me about what you feel about challenges and like the whole challenge model. What is your take on it?
Well, I think we're moving to more of a experiential type life. People want to experience things. And I believe that a challenge brings content or some sort of desire that somebody has. It helps them bring it to life in their own life in a real way by applying whatever these new tools that whatever the challenge, whatever the goal of the challenge, the end result, like they get to actually bring these into their life and have something to show for at the end of it, which is how I think you make things stick.
Yeah.
But from the business standpoint, this is how you retain those people.
Yeah, it's like a win-win, right? So
Yeah.
it's like you get someone who doesn't have to make a big commitment to you or your project, so they can take like this small little chunk and see, all right, is this going to work for me? So they get a quick win, which is good for them, right? We talk about that. And then for the person running the challenge, yeah, it gives them the opportunity to, you know, um, showcase not only that they can get people results, but also build that rapport, build that trust, show that expertness. So I do like the challenge model for that in that way. And it's short.
Yeah.
You could do a 3-day challenge, you could do a 1-day challenge, whatever it is. It's like this short time frame that gives people the ability to kind of, on both sides, it's almost like you're interviewing one another. It's like, let me
Oh
see
yeah.
this,
Yeah.
yeah, this guy is the guy I want to work with. And on the same end, like, because the person who's running the challenge, maybe they're just like, yo, it's the same for me. Like, I
Well,
don't want to work with these type of people.
and I think a big part of it too is, I mean, there is a benefit in selling the result, selling what they will have or what they will be able to do or be able to be. Um, and then them going through the challenge and that person say they don't accomplish that, it's almost like filtering out the people who might not be your ideal client or customer, because especially if you're trying to do things to help people transform or get certain results or take somebody somewhere. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've had clients that really weren't able to run the marathon with me and I was running it for them.
Yeah.
It's like how I'm trying to get to the finish line and you really didn't know what you were getting yourself into. So I think a challenge allows people to remove themselves from the conversation, and now you're able to deal with people that can run the marathon. They want change, they want some sort of result, and you can continue to go with them even beyond the challenge. So
All right, awesome. So we're sold on challenges. And I think this piece, the puzzle right here that we're going to do is kind of put it all together for myself. And
well, I got a 30-day challenge I'm working on too
all right,
that I'm about to start right now.
so we're going to do this together.
We're gonna
So,
do it together.
yeah.
I'm just gonna take notes, but I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you with your challenge.
All right, great. Let me we're gonna go to the my digital whiteboard, which is going to be my iPad. Share, download. Of course, I need some plugin. All right, there it is. Hopefully, this works. I feel like sometimes when I go to share my screen from my iPad, it like wants to work, but then sometimes it doesn't.
Especially when you're recording
Of course.
to share with other people.
Man. Oh yeah, it's giving me problems already. All right, so let's just get to keep the ball rolling because the first thing you have to decide for a challenge is like who is the challenge for, right? So I've been asking myself that question over the past couple days, and it almost kind of like if I work backwards, it's like what is the result I'm trying to give them? One in the challenge, but what is after the challenge? And for me as a marketing guy, my challenge is going to be about like paid advertisement. And it's like, okay, so who though paid advertisement? Because there's so many options, right? There's Facebook ads, Google ads. There's, people who are experts, people who are doing YouTube, people who are just beginners. And I guess I have to ask myself that piece of it is like, who is my ideal client and who do I want to work with as I figure out my share mode here. Um,
And I imagine, is this so when you're thinking of your ideal client, or I guess what you're trying to show, what you're trying to teach them, is this for them to be self-sufficient,
mm,
or are you trying to get them to a point where you can partner with them?
well, I think I haven't gotten that far yet
Okay,
for
okay,
like for them to be self-sufficient, but it is definitely for the person who does want to run their own ads.
okay.
Um, Okay, how do I stop sharing now? Can you see? Do you see me in full screen mode?
No, I just see you on the side, and it says Michael was trying to started sharing his screen in big black, but there's nothing there.
Nothing there, of course not. Oh, there it is. Stop sharing. Okay, cool. Well,
Now I see you side by
let's
side.
bring up old technology.
Yeah, it's Old Faithful.
Yeah,
You see me? I got a notebook right here. I got
yeah.
an iPad Pro. I got an iPad Pro too, but this I know this is gonna work.
All right. See, this works. Uh,
Yeah.
bye. All right, back to the stuff. All right. So I guess like when I think about like who is this for, someone told me that like you have to super niche down. Like if you could super niche down, it's easier to talk to your person. It's easier to like get in their minds and know what copy to write. And I get it, right? As much as like I want to resist that, as much as I know that's what the world wants, right? Like we tell people, like you got to niche. The riches are in the niches, right? I think I personally have figured out my who,
Okay.
and it took me a while. And I think for as here's how I came up with it. I asked myself, right, who are my favorite clients? Right? And I had to ask myself deeply, like, who is it? Like, I love people who are starting off, like, right? Because we have all these epiphanies together, and it makes me feel good because, like, I'm teaching them things that they don't know. And sometimes when I get into with people who are a little bit more advanced, I don't know what they know or don't know, and I don't want to repeat, and I never want to talk down to someone like, hey, you don't know what your ideal client is like you've never heard of that and they've like been in the game for so long. So I try to be careful about that, but if I say who are the people that I absolutely love with, that we have something together in common with, right? Because I feel like those are the easiest relationships to make, right? So if I'm out and I'm wearing like, man, it's happened to me a couple times. I wear old school T-shirts in a sense of like retro, right? So Back to the Future, Top Gun. So I'm like, oh, I like your shirt. Like instantly, we're talking, right?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So I go to, all right, who do I like to work with? Who do I got something in common with? And I think you know where I'm going with this, but I'm going to say the ClickFunnels community.
Yeah. That's your tribe.
That's my tribe.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna try to only talk when I'm like in front of the mic because I know sometimes like I'm back here, you may not be able to hear me. But
Okay.
CF community, but I feel like, and I think we've talked about this, there's a couple levels to this ClickFunnels community.
Yeah.
There's like a majority of them are just starting out. They're working on their first funnel, they're doing those things. And even though they like have the hype and those are not really the people I need to serve.
Hmm.
So I feel like I'm like a niche inside of another niche
Yeah.
because the people I need to serve, um, they have to have a funnel already.
Yeah.
So they already have a funnel built. Let me go a little bit deeper then. Man, I would love for them that already know that this shit converts.
So it's been optimized.
I'm just gonna say already tested.
Yeah, but this is your perfect
Well,
ideal client, right? So that makes sense.
yes. See, so let's talk about some terminology and definition.
Yeah.
To me, when I think optimize, I think like, oh, they already went through ads and they have already done that stuff, which I think I'm okay with that. So when you say optimize, what did you mean?
I mean that they know that each step of the funnel, um, I guess pushes people through the process. So they've tried to remove some friction from it may not be the highest converting it could be, but people make it through the funnel.
All right, I like that. I feel like I'm gonna take up a whole bunch of stuff here. Consolidating. I like that. Um, I want to say they've already ran ads.
That makes sense.
They've already ran ads, and they're like, if either it didn't work or didn't work well enough.
Yeah.
So they want their ads to be better.
So there's a need there still.
Yeah.
You know what this reminds me of what you're doing?
Tell
If
me.
you're doing a relay race, you're passing the baton to the next leg of the race, right?
Mhm.
You don't want to be too far away from them before you pass the baton, because then there's like this gap, and it seems like what you're doing is you're targeting somebody that the challenge is essentially them passing the baton to you, and then you passing it right back to them. So you're trying to get them up close enough to like where they're like, okay, I know enough about ads to know that I need to use ad, that this is what I need to do. But there's a gap in the sense of my knowledge. And instead of having like this big old gap in between where like now you got to teach them all this stuff and you got to do this and then you got to do this and then it's the challenge. So I like how you're like being very specific on where they are in phase wise and even where they are like mentally. So
Yeah. I think so. One, you know, we talk about, who and the where and the what. And I think the ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson, he has already so the good thing about this is this piece right here is a big piece because we're saying they have already been through the indoctrination that sales funnels work.
yeah,
They've already been qualified to say that they're paying for a service,
yeah,
right? And the ads piece of it says they've already put up some money to test because they want it to work. It's not this I'm only doing it organically. They know like to reach the masses, they need ads. So I think that's maybe one of the driving factors of my who is that they want to reach the masses. And I don't think I necessarily have to go men, women, age. I think I bet you there is some type of demographic out there that says, oh, ClickFunnels people are, 40 to this or 35 or 24 or whatever age. I think I don't I mean, I would enjoy working with men over women, nothing against them, but like I'm a man and like it's like this whole rah-rah thing that I try to help
A
men.
lot more in common.
We have more in common, right?
Yeah,
Um, and it's nothing about gender or that's or even age.
yeah.
I just think, whether it's a man or a woman, if they have these interests, this is fine for me. All right, cool. So it starts with the who, the challenges for the who. So now I know. So if I wanted to create content, right? Let's think of it just a quick ad, right? It's like you could almost say, oh, using your words, right? If you say design without results is just art,
Yeah.
a funnel without traffic is just a website.
Yep. That's perfect.
I wish that could be the name of the challenge. A funnel without traffic is just a website 5-day challenge.
Yeah.
I like it actually. But if you're thinking of headlines, if you think, how do I talk to these people? Like for me, it's so easy, right? Like I could say, like, you've been in ClickFunnels for 2 years, right? Because you're not brand new. You have this funnel thing, you believe in it, it's converted, it works. Now you just need more eyes on it, but you struggle to find your who to
Yeah.
come to the site, or you don't know what it do. I use Google? Do I use Facebook? Do I use Instagram? Everyone's telling you, all these new trends, but what's right for you, you don't know. And it's something else you have to learn, right? Join the 5-day challenge. Website without traffic is just, or funnel without traffic is just a website. Love it. All
This
right.
is why when you were saying the riches are in the niches, um, when you niche down that far, it's like you just did that in front of me.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. I didn't have to think too
Because
hard
you know
about
what they're going through. You're speaking directly to them.
it. I'm speaking
So
direct. I like it. All right. So the next piece of this puzzle when doing your challenge is okay. So you figure it out. Step one is the who. So step two is beyond the challenge and thinking about what core offer are you giving them. Let me see. Does this red work? Oh, I'm gonna change the color.
yeah, give us some variety.
Yeah. So the core offer is what's happening after the challenge, right? So if I think about for me, um, I've been really trying to figure out what I've been really trying to figure out, like, okay, what's my core offer? And I feel like I've been building it for a few months now. But like my core offer, what I would love to do is I would love to create both an online course with group coaching that allows people to optimize their ads in a group where everyone can learn. And but they initially have to set everything up via, via the trainings.
Yeah.
So it's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Wait, wait, Linda, do we have more colors of these? Are they upstairs? All right. So for me, it's a hybrid course. It's both one-on-one training or group training with maybe a VIP of on like one-on-one if people want one-on-one. But they're learning online through videos, and then they get group calls twice a week. Now, so the question is it a one-time fee or is it a membership fee? And I think from because it's my field, like ads are always changing, Google backend is always changing, conversion things are always changing, and it's like, all right, for me, I'm doing a membership. Now, for the group, if it, maybe there's different tiers of the membership, right? I don't know yet. So I would just think if I'm giving, the latest and greatest on Google ads, I guess that's a piece of it. These are Google ads. My pricing, I would say, is $1,000 a month. And $1,000 a month gets you, like, we'll just say, access to, if you want to say, start staying at the stack. So you have, the videos, you have weekly calls, two weekly calls. You can be a part of a private Facebook group. You can have like unlimited email access, maybe to type in questions. You can what's another one? Maybe have audits. Maybe I have access to people's accounts and they say, hey, can you check this out? Like unlimited audits, unlimited email contact, 2 group calls a week, gazillion videos to watch. I think that,
Are you adding new videos?
yeah, I think you have to, because one, it's a membership and they expect the most up-to-date content.
Mhm.
But then the second piece is that it does change. So if I'm not adding new videos, then the content gets stale and it's no good.
Why Google Ads? Like, why did you go that route?
So I went Google Ads. One, um, I know the most about Google Ads. I think Facebook, the social media platforms, the Instagrams, TikToks, the Facebooks, I think they're very I say trendy.
Volatile?
Yeah, trendy. Like they can make switches, but here's the thing: Facebook has Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. They're Meta now, so maybe there's. I think that's about it. I don't know if they have something else, but that's all they have. Google has Chrome, has Google itself, has YouTube. They have Gmail. They have like their display networks that they're partners with. And I think they collect so much data on us that we don't even know, right? Like, so many people have a Gmail account. Like, who knows what they're tracking inside of our mail accounts? Who knows what they're tracking when we're on Chrome? See, Facebook has a problem. You have to put the pixel on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or if you're using the Chrome browser,
Yeah.
they
You've
collect.
you've already opted in.
You've already opted in. Terms and services. You've already opted in. So during the challenge, I think this is important, right? So people don't know whether they're coming in off Google ads or what it is, right? My core offer is Google ads.
Yeah.
So in my challenge, during the 5 days that I have them, because we're going to say 5 day challenge, I'll figure that out later. So we
Yeah.
say 5 day challenge. In those 5 days, I have to start explaining to them why I think Google is the best route.
Mhm.
So I think we go that route and offer bonuses and everything. So that's the core offer. So here's where it gets fun, Demetrious.
Yeah.
All right. You're going to love this. So the next question is, let me see. All right. So the next question is, what should the challenge be about? right? If the core offer is we're going to try to get them to a course about Google Ads, what should your challenge be about? And I think when I heard this, this was the old like aha moment I had of like, oh my gosh, this is worth its weight in gold. And what it comes down to is this: your challenge should be the prerequisite to your course or to your core offer.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, like, now I know what my challenge is about.
Hmm.
What is the one thing that they need to do before running ads? And to me, it's setting up data tracking. You know what I'm saying? But data tracking is not sexy,
Yeah.
right? Google Tag Manager is not sexy,
No,
but
I've seen you do it. It's pretty boring.
it's boring as hell. But what happens is, like, if you think about for you, right? So you have a core offer, you have a prerequisite to a challenge, and even if it's boring, you've
Yeah.
created momentum. You've created them starting something to where now it's like it's so much easier to get them to turn over because like it only makes sense that the next thing is running ads. Like I
Yeah.
did this challenge, it's only makes sense to run ads. The example that I heard about this was say you're doing a fitness challenge, right? Your 5-day fitness challenge. And after the fitness challenge is like, an online program for working out. So it's like, all right, what should day one be about? Well, day one should be like, let's because it's about getting homework too, right? We'll talk about that in a second. But day one, let's say, is we need to talk about nutrition. So their homework is go into their pantry and throw away all the sugar stuff that they don't need, take a picture of it, and put it on the Facebook group.
Hmm.
You got them to take that first step. The second thing is, all right, have them buy new workout clothes so that they feel good or they look good going into the gym, right? The third thing is if it's online, have them order the equipment that they need, right? And a piece of that could be affiliate links, whether it's directly with the community or directly with the company or directly with maybe Amazon.
Yeah.
The next maybe day four is about maybe getting supplements. And then, day five is now you're selling the boot camp. So they've done all these things. They've thrown away food, they bought new clothes, they got their equipment, and now the only thing left is for them to work out.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like brilliant.
But see, this goes back to what I was saying before. Why this challenge thing makes so much sense is because it's it's a new experience. It's getting people like when you take a course. I mean, I've taken plenty of courses on coding, on web development, on marketing, all this stuff. You're kind of just learning. You're taking notes, you're getting information, and obviously there's a purpose, there's an application to it. Like you're trying to accomplish something. But for the most part, you're just sitting there taking in information. The challenge does that, but you're doing stuff in the real world. There is real results to what you're doing. That to me is the exciting part of this. The other thing is when I was thinking about my challenge for what I'm working on, I started with a challenge. And now I see why that's kind of backwards. And that's why I love, even though like you call me an expert marketer, and I appreciate that. It's important to like still, be in a community
Iron
with
sharpens
other
iron.
people. Yeah, iron sharpens iron because what I need to do is really think about my core offer and work backwards. So it's a prerequisite.
Yes. So
That's the part that you got to do in the right order, type thing.
yes.
So
Because the goal of all this is to give our people a win.
yeah,
And if I thought about like, okay, whatever sexy is over here, and say it wasn't anything about data tracking, but I want them to come into the course. They still got to do data tracking. That
yeah,
is still the first step because
yeah,
you ask why. Why is that piece so important? And if we break it down, like, okay, well, one, you're running traffic to, you're running cold traffic to your website. And if you don't have something collecting the data, like you're just losing opportunity, you're losing conversions, you're losing money, you're wasting money. It's like there's so many things happening if you don't do this. So I'm going to write some of those down. So let's think about that, right?
Am I
So,
glitching on your screen?
uh, yeah, a little bit.
I don't know why. My internet is like business class internet, and it's been fine all day, every day. But
It
whatever.
it could be me, man. I got a gazillion kids that love to. This is how.
Yeah, but you coming through crystal clear.
Oh, you can hear me. Oh,
I can see you. I can hear you. I'm over here looking like stop motion animation, but it's okay.
it's
I'm gonna just stand still so no one knows.
yeah. All right. So I believe that the prerequisite to running ads is you got to have your data tracking together. Some of the reasons why is because you lose the opportunity to retarget. You waste. I would say you lose your conversion stuff. So when I say lose conversion stuff, I'm talking about, um, these ad platforms optimize for the best results. And if you don't have, your data in place to say this is the best result, then they're not going to optimize. They're not going to optimize the best for that ad. So ultimately, you lose money, and you could, depending on what you're doing, I think, if you don't have retargeting set up, if you don't have conversion set up, then you could be not only wasting money on ads, but then you also could be, losing, if you're remarketing and your conversions are coming in through that way, you can be losing tens of thousands of dollars, if not millions, depending on your ad budget. Make sense?
Total sense.
All right. So I guess when I see this, I asked myself, like when I look at this thing, I asked myself, like, how do I data tracking is not sexy,
Hmm.
right? So what would be a good, not headline, but what do we call this thing? Right? It has to be sexy enough where people see it, right? When I think of a challenge name, I think it's, you know, um, I think it's simple. It's, people understand it right away. Like, 30 days, you know, size 5 challenge,
Yeah.
lose 10 pounds in 5 days challenge, things like that, right? So it's like, what could I say about this piece? And some things ran through my head was like, because these people want to run ads, right? And I want to get their attention. So maybe I call it something like before you run your ads challenge. Fine.
Yeah. Why be poetic, right?
Fine. If someone was running ads, then at least now I got their curiosity of like, hey, what is he trying to say I need to do before I run ads? Um, or I like what we were saying earlier. A funnel without traffic is just a website. I would love to figure out how to put that in the title. But your title has to be simple and it has to really cut through all the noise and talk exactly to your person, and they know what's happening at that point. Almost like having the result and calling them out and having the result in it as well. Make sense?
It does.
All right. Are you fixing your stuff over there?
I don't,
It just,
it,
it just
it,
says webcam image.
this is what happened. It's like Zoom just took a dump. My Zoom took a dump. Like I have like, that's my Mac. That's my Thunderbolt display, but my Sony camera, which never had a problem ever in its life, and all the meetings I've had, just decided to like take a dump. So
All right.
people don't care. People just want the information.
Let's just keep it moving. I only have,
Yeah, all people care about is the information.
yeah, for sure. All right, I only have 3 colors. I'm going back to purple.
Okay, I'm gonna go to this camera and just let it be what it is.
Your Mac camera? Where's your Mac camera? That one was working.
Yeah, I'm doing my Thunderbolt.
Oh,
I mean,
uh,
they both look like you're recording on a potato. I don't. Yeah. Is this horrible?
no, it actually looks good. It's clean.
Okay, we'll just do this one.
Not bad. All right, so trying to for me, I was trying to decide like, okay, let's talk a little bit about what the planning looks like for the content. Right.
So yeah, like this is definitely helpful. Like already just in that niching down, I wasn't niching down enough. I'm just that whole concept of like practicing what you preach. Like I know that you're supposed to niche down, but for some reason it's so hard. You're like, I'm losing all these people. What's be good for them too? It need to be good for them. Oh, and these people will love it. But you got to niche down, and I think the core offer thing was just so eye opening because you make that, and then you make this lock right into that.
Right.
And I love the quick win and actually giving somebody value before they give you money. Is your challenge cost money?
Let's talk about that.
Okay.
All right. So we'll get to that in 1 second.
Okay. Okay.
But understanding does should the challenge cost money? What are the benefits? What are the pros and cons?
Yeah.
I think the first thing I want to say is all right, so we have an idea for kind of like what's happening right now. Now, when we talk about the content of the challenge, the first thing I ask myself is like, okay, what is the problem that it's solving? And I don't know that straight answer just yet. So let's talk about that.
Well,
So,
for the setup, I mean, that's probably the most tedious technical part. And you're walking somebody through it. And it's done. At the end of the challenge, it's done. Because even if they don't go with you, even if they don't go with you for your core offer, you've left them in a better place.
all right, so that's nice. That's a problem that it's solving.
Yeah.
Walking through I put the most tedious part. Um, I think maybe the other problem that it's solving is that it gives them the ability for success when they do run their ads.
So have you ever heard, and I'm gonna jack this up, but like when you're like measuring like a trajectory of like, say, for example, like you're trying to launch a satellite into space, or you're a sniper, and when you zoom in 200 yards or you're trying to launch a satellite to be in a certain orbit, like even if you're off at the beginning of the point of it, a bullet coming out of a gun, or you launching it could be a cannon, it could be like, back in the medieval times when they had those, not
Yeah,
the slings, what are they called things?
the big boulders.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't think of it, but if you're off by like a degree, it changes. Like when you see what it's like, dang, I missed out the castle by a mile. And I feel like that's kind of what this part is. It's like if you're just off by just a little degree, it's going to exponentially be worse for you in the future as far as the failures and the disasters of your campaigns. I think that's important to know, as far as helping people.
So it's set up correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, I spelled that all wrong. Thank God it's blurry. I put set up correctly, but I put it's called catapult, right?
Yeah,
Catapult.
catapult. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What other problems does it solve, you think?
Um, I mean, I think it calls people to action. it gets people from a state of they get into a state of momentum. You're calling them into a state of momentum. Because once you do this part, the next natural part is to go to the next step. And I don't know if you're gonna have some sort of accountability or some sort of maybe I don't know if it's low touch, if it's just all low touch or no touch and kind of automated, or if it's like some sort of accountability. Maybe if it's even in your email sequences, like you're checking in on them. Like to me, that is might not be the biggest benefit, but accountability is important. So I don't know. Maybe the fine print. I mean, just think about the power of starting your just I just think of it from my point of view, right? Hearing this for the first time, right? Of your challenge.
Yeah.
I enter your challenge, I get distracted by my life, I get distracted by my family, and I get an email that says, "How are you doing with this?" Just that is powerful enough just to kick somebody back into the state of momentum. That's a benefit, you know?
I like it. I like it. So the problem that it's solving is that, I walk you through the tedious and hardest part. You have the ability of success from the gate, from the start. You've set it up correctly. It does give you momentum. It does give you the ability to retarget, and it gives you accountability. And at the end of it, the result is they have a an account that's set up correctly to track and run ads.
So how much and I'm sure this is on Google, and this might even be great for copy or landing page content, but how much people the percentage of people who use Google Ads have their ads set up incorrectly? I'm sure there's a percentage, and I'm sure it's a high percentage.
Yeah, it's a high percentage. It's like I feel like me and my ads coach are the only ones that know how to run ads correctly. And I say that jokingly, but like when man, you can literally go on Google right now and type in bad dentist near me, and so many ads pop up that shouldn't. And it's like, how are you even running these ads? You could do that with any industry, bad construction worker, bad. And it's like, there's strategies or tactics that like make sure that your ad don't come up for negative connotations, but people skip that. And it's like you said, this little degree that you're talking about, that little word bad is
Mhm.
throwing you off.
Yeah,
That's your trajectory. That is
yeah,
like,
yeah,
because yeah, you want to show up for dentist near me, but bad dentist near me, you don't want to show up for.
yeah.
So pretty crazy. All right. So we talk about the challenge. We've decided, okay, what is the problem that it's solving? And we're talking about the result that they're getting. So there is a framework for structuring your days. And I think you're going to love this.
Mm. Give it to me, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. So day one is your opening remarks, right? Because people, they signed up for your challenge, but they still may not know you. So if you think of an attorney when they come in, I've been watching, I love whoever Camilla, whatever her name is, for the
Vasquez.
yeah, I'm like, man, you're killing it, girl. She's like, put people in their place. I'm like, man, she's gonna be worth so much money now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
When I think about that, when I think about an attorney, it's like your opening remarks kind of set the stage of what's happening, right? So in your first day, you know, it's you're almost on stage for people to ask themselves, do I like this guy or not like this guy? So day one, you got to kind of come with the excitement.
Yeah.
You have to, again, let people know, like, we would say the why they're there, and kind of like what's going to happen, like what the challenge is it about. So day one, come with excitement. um you got to dive deep into the why and the what, and you have to be like aspirational. That's a
Yeah.
So the next thing I put like, who are they going to become after this challenge, right? Because there has to be some transformation that's happening too, right? So when I think about, like, some of the ads copy that I wrote, it's like I could take you from beginner to expert, right? Like after this course, you are going to know how to run ads like an expert media buyer. Oh my gosh, I was way off. All right. So you're going to learn how to run ads as an expert media buyer, right? So you're the day one, we'll say opening remarks. And so whatever the first step is, right, in this challenge, day one, you have to already start thinking about the limited beliefs they're having, and you have to address them and squash them, right? That overcoming objections thing, right? So coming into a remarketing challenge for me, they're going to be thinking like, "Oh, this is going to be too technical. I don't know these technical things. Oh, I don't know how to open up a Google Ads account, or oh, I don't know how to do this, do that." So it's like I have to, you have to come, understand what their limiting of beliefs for day one, because you need to get them a win on day one to get them to day two, right? So the first, whatever this however long it takes to explain what the challenge is, why they're there, the excitement, the aspiration, who they're going to become in this challenge, explain a little bit about you and who your background is, and then tackle the limited beliefs, right? You might be thinking this is going to be tough. You might be thinking it's going to be this, but rest assured, I'm going to show you X, Y, and Z. So, you know, um, day one is also about, you know, telling the big picture. And I think that goes back to like what the problems it's going to solve, right? So after this challenge, like I guess it's almost like reminding them why they're there. As I think about challenges, you don't know, there's some you don't know when they're signing up, right? So it could be 2 weeks out, and they're like, "What is this thing again? Why did I sign up for this?" Got suckered into another suckered into another challenge. But like, hey, you're here because of this. Um, yeah. So you got to come in strong. All right, day two.
Now, is this before you get to day two? My question is, does it matter the format of your challenge? Meaning that is this video? Is this audio? Could it be emails? Like, does it matter or
I
I don't
think
know?
it has to be video. I don't
Has
think it has to be live video, but it has to. I mean, I think how strong video is when we come in doing video, and it's
so
like,
every day. So basically, essentially, each day is kind of like a video.
yeah,
Obviously, with some other content with as well, but the main thing is here's the video for today. Here's a challenge for today.
yeah. And
All
I
right.
think I think the main most important piece is got to give them homework every day,
Okay.
because they have to be moving forward. Right. All right. So, like I said, the fitness guy challenge, right? All right. So today you're going to go to your pantry right after this. You're throwing away all the sugar shit, right? Throw away all your candies, all your cookies, throw them away, take a picture, send it in the Facebook group accountability,
Yeah.
right? but it gets them moving. That momentum. We talked about momentum, right? We want to get them moving. All right. So really, day one is foundations, squashing limited beliefs, um, starting momentum. All right. Day two. What is day two? Oh, I got it. So day two is requirements. What do they need to be successful? Right. If you're doing remarketing, right? So I got them all hype over here, like, hey, this is what we're doing. I don't know what the homework would be on day one, because really day two, I'm saying, all right, for you to become this media buyer, here are the requirements. You need your Google Ads account. You need, Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, this stuff. So
I just thought another reason why challenges are so powerful.
tell me, let me know.
And there's a saying that says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Mm,
And one thing you find with people who have a hard time starting things, it's because those people think about the whole thing at one time, and it's very overwhelming. And a challenge breaks it down into these little micro commitments, these little sprints that make it manageable to do something very difficult because you're breaking it down into little pieces, and each piece is manageable on its own. And if you just do each piece, by the end of it, it's almost like a model car or Legos or something. One of those Lego things.
mm,
If you just put each piece together, you'll have the Death Star or X-wing or some sort of Lego build. And I think that that's what technically a challenge is, like Legos.
mm. No, I like that because um it goes back to that prerequisite. Like, for you to be successful at the real thing that you want, which is to run ads, run Google ads, you need to do the remarketing challenge.
Yeah.
And I call it a remarketing challenge right this second because I have a opening video for my course. And I think this is what solidified that I need to do this ASAP, is
Yeah.
because I said, well, before you even get started here, you got to start literally here.
Yeah.
So you can't run any ads until you have it all set up.
Yeah.
Check out the remarketing challenge.
Yep.
So day three is really about the outcome and the solution. And this is where you start sharing your core offer. And I think like this is a very high level piece of it. And for me, I'm gonna like figure out breaking it down even more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think what's important is it's just not a bunch of hula, right? Like hoorah, hoorah.
Yeah.
Like you could do this, you're gonna be a marketer, you're gonna be a media buyer. It's like for me, there's gonna be tangible things, right? Like the fitness guy, throw the shit away, throw your sugar away. Like you have to set up these ads account. You can't set up this ad account until you do this. The next step is this, which you need it.
Mhm.
So if I look at these 2 days, maybe they sign up for the ad account. Maybe they connect now the ad accounts together. So it's
Mhm.
linking. I like that. Link accounts.
Yeah, because they're actually getting things done.
They're getting things done.
Yeah.
Day three, now maybe I'm talking about like the outcome and the solution, right? So
Yeah.
again, what is the purpose of having this data? Is that we can collect certain information. So that could be conversion events, it can be custom audiences. I mean, all this techno babble that I'm talking right now. But for me, like the solution is, yeah, you have to, we're doing all this so that you can collect the data. If you just
Yeah.
have it sitting out there, all it's doing is sitting out there.
Yeah.
So now I'm collecting data.
Excuse me.
So day four, what do I have for day four? Oh, handling objections.
So are these objections to your core offer?
I think it's like, the more, hold on. So for me, when I think of objections, I mean, no, I don't think it's objections to the core offer. I think maybe people are getting stuck here,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Like, all right, it's almost like a recap. Like, hey, where's everybody at?
Yeah.
Well, I'm having trouble with this. Oh, I'm having trouble with that. And it's like now I'm kind of like backtracking, making sure everybody is now level set. And
Yeah.
it could be objections of I can't find this thing, or the
Yeah.
limiting of belief that, oh, this is too hard,
Yeah.
or the like, so I'm squashing all those
I
things,
see what you're saying. Yeah.
right? So I started my core offer on day three. I'm handling, you could be handling objections for the core offer too,
Yeah.
but I'm just, basically checking in. And then day five, I'm selling my core offer.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a dumb idea? But I'm gonna throw it out there. It's a green light idea. So my mom is not tech savvy at all. And obviously, this may not apply to this, but I always thought about doing like some sort of like ad or campaign for something that's a little bit technical, but like basically saying like my instructions are so good or this thing is so good that even my mom can do it or like my wife can do it or something like that. And like showing like little funny clips of them trying to go through this process, like in like a 1 minute condensed thing, and basically saying even my mom could set up her campaign. You know, like or some person who's not tech savvy. That is just a little thing I'll throw out there just for the world to like listen to because that can work across kind of anything. But the great thing about it is it shows that okay, not only is this thing effective in how I'm teaching it, but also you could do it. So
I will say that, I pay close attention to hooks and like what things get my attention. Cause if they're getting my attention, they're getting other people's attention, especially
yeah,
if I'm like keen to it, I'm slick with it, I know what's going on. But there is one ad that I've heard, which is similar to what you're saying. They said, give me any 5-year-old, let them take my course, give me 10 minutes, give me an hour with them, and they'll be running ads better than your current ads. They will outbe performing your current ads.
that's crazy.
I know. But that's such a good hook, right? Give me any 5-year-old. You're like, dang, if they're five, right?
Yeah,
5-year-olds are smart. They're not
yeah.
dumb, but that's what they're trying to say is like our stuff is not that technical that a 5-year-old can do it. Even though I feel like 5-year-olds are super slick with the phones and things.
But you know what? You know why? And I think this goes into this human behavior aspect of what your why a challenge works is the older you get, the more you think about what you can't do.
Oh, it's you're limiting beliefs.
Yeah, and when you're young, you don't have a lot of limiting beliefs yet. Remember, Santa Claus exists. There's monsters under your bed. You could be an
Wait,
astronaut.
yeah,
So, I mean, I almost think like people should think more like 5-year-olds than think like adults. They'll be more successful and happy in life.
I like it. All right. So to recap, how this, let's say, overall to create your challenge is you understand the who are you going after, and we went micro niched so that we know how to talk to them, we know we have this connection, and we can quickly get to them. Two is starting from the back. What is your core offer? What is the last thing that you're selling them or you want them to go into? What bonuses do they have? What what's your value stack? What is the things you're giving them at the end of it? And I think one thing to keep in mind for your core offer is that it shouldn't compete with your challenge. It should be a prerequisite to the challenge. And I think that's what we talked about here. So, what is the challenge about? What problem is it solving? What result it's getting? And then what are we going to be doing on day one? Laying down the foundations, understanding that, they're coming to kind of see who you are. It's your interview. So you got to be excited. You got to bring the excitement, aspiration, remind them what the challenge is about, tell them what the big picture is, and always give them homework. That way they're moving forward towards a goal. And the only other next thing for them is to run ads. Day one, send foundations. Day two, what are the requirements that they need to get success? Day three, we're talking about what is going to be the outcome and solution of all of this. Day four, handling limited beliefs and objections. And then day five, selling your core offer. And that's a wrap.
So the big part of the challenge is selling your core offer, taking
Yeah.
them right into the next steps.
Yeah. I mean, as I think about for me, like, right, like, hey, you have all this data tracking set up. Now what?
Yeah.
Like, shit, you have like, you're just gonna leave it there
Yeah, I know.
because a funnel without traffic
It's a website.
lives.
Now here's okay. So here's the question that we were going to get to. Do you charge for your challenge, or do you not charge, or is it just depend on your circumstances, whatever you're building?
I just had a quick idea. I heard you, but I had a quick idea of like just another website challenge. Who knows? Something I like. All right. Do you is it free or is it paid? All right. So clearly, if it's free or paid, we know that you're free, you're gonna get more people. If it's paid, you're gonna get less people. So if it's paid, how much do you charge? Right. And I think so. Here's the problem. Think about your buying habits yourself, right? So when you like Chris Doe, and when you first were introduced to him, what was it that you like? What how did he get you?
His YouTube.
His YouTube channel. So that's free content. So he established that he was an expert. And then he said, all right, did you ever buy anything from him?
Absolutely.
All right, what was that? What was maybe like the first product that you bought and how much?
Think it was $75, and it was a proposal template.
All right. What so $75, what was, how long was the time for you like started watching him and then paid?
Actually, that wasn't the first thing I bought.
Oh, let's go.
First thing I bought was $300,
Woo!
and I would say the reason that I bought it was, and how I found his channel was there. I had a need, I had a question I was trying to get answered, something I was trying to do.
Hmm.
His channel was the answer, and then he had a product that was the solution for what I needed. So
So you solved the problem.
yeah, I was looking to, like, I didn't stumble across his channel just by happenstance. I was actively trying to accomplish something.
Yeah.
So
As I thought about this for myself, I was like, man, someone was screaming this like through trainings, and they're like, everyone tells you to charge what you're worth, and I'm telling you not to do that. And I'm like, man, this guy's being ballsy. Right? Because everyone does say you need to charge what you're worth, high ticket, go this, go that. And I'm going to bring this full circle in a second. But the reason why he says not to charge, right? He says, imagine the content that you got for free that you were like, oh my gosh, this is worth $10,000. This just made me all this money. When when you got that content, how did that solidify that relationship? And I bet you that's like a Chris Doe thing, right? When you were watching his
yeah,
YouTube channel, you're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna change my business. And it was free content.
yeah. Chris Doe to me is Russell Brunson to you.
Right. Right. So it's like he delivered, like that's what happened. Russell Brunson delivered content to me that I thought was worth way more, whether I paid $100 or free, or
Yeah.
10,000, it was worth way more because of the value that it had, not how much I paid. So when you hear that, as I think about should it be a free or paid challenge, for me, I think, well, I don't want to do a free challenge because I know the content that I can deliver, and the epiphanies and the ahas is going to solidify the next step
Mm.
because of that whole build value piece of it. And I'm okay with that. Now, what I would do is in my challenge, I will have free and then upsells. Like, oh, you want the VIPs part of it where
Yeah.
we're gonna walk through the homework together and you can ask questions and you can do all this stuff. That'll be a percentage. Do you
Yeah.
want a one-on-one call? That might be another upsell. I don't know. But I think how I bring people in through a free challenge and then use upsells as my paid challenge. And I
Mm.
think that makes the most sense. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, there'll probably be a lot of no shows, but the people that do show up and that are ready and they came in on a free or they bought, like I'm gonna deliver so much value that they're gonna be like, man, I would have paid $1,000, five thousand
Yeah.
dollars for this. So I think the first time, I think you can definitely do free. I think following it on the back end because you're gonna have testimonials because you have people talk, and I think then you throw maybe a paid challenge. But I think free just makes sense.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. Especially with like, because I think the biggest there's something that people say, and they've said this in the music industry too. And this is the first time I've heard it is in the music industry, but we know human behavior is human behavior. So when I was in the marketing, the business world, people are saying it in the marketing and business world. And it's like this concept is if you give it to them for free, they'll never pay,
Mm,
which is a false belief. You've just explained why it's a false belief because it depends on the individual. Because if you give me free information, but I'm a very ambitious individual who's on a path, who's trying to accomplish something, and you come and say, "Hey, I gave you this free information. Here is this thing that's going to take you to the next level. It's X amount of dollars." Now, me as the individual who was on a path and ambitious, just because you gave me free stuff, I'm not going to stop my growth and the amount of money that I can make because you put a price tag on it. So now, because I know the value of it, you put a price tag on it. Yes, I do make calculations in my mind, but I say, okay, well, this $1,000 that I'm going to spend is going to allow me to make $25,000. And to me, there are going to be some people who are going to say, well, you gave me the information for free. I'm not there yet, which is great. So I think that it comes down to the individual person and what they want out of life and what they see value in. And if you
mm.
give them free information and then you give them something behind a paywall, um, they'll pay. It's that simple, you know? So but I think that is one of those things that I've always thought about when it comes to like a challenge or when do you like you have a lead magnet, when do you start charging people? Because I've seen it work where they have like tripwires and things like that, where you're trying to test and see like where, but I think because you're niching down so deep, you know the value of what you're offering and you know what's at stake when you don't run ads correctly. So I think that because you know where you are and what you're doing, you're able to have that price tag and know confidently that people will see the value in what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah, because you know you're who, right?
Yeah.
I know I've been there and I know what I paid to get
Yeah.
what I need. I knew what I need to pay to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And look, that's all she wrote.
Yeah.
Demetrious, thanks for jumping on, brother.
Absolutely.
I think I think everybody gets something out of it. And when they do their challenge, they're going to see results that they like.
Yep. Absolutely.
See you next time.
All right, Ross.